So we had other remote duel well, not even invitationals. We had remote duel events this past weekend. We had the UK, and I have Belgium here with some deck lists and a little bit more in-depth information out of these events. So, well, show some love. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's kick back and enjoy the rest of the world being a virtual world playground, while America seems to have rejected the notion of virtual world. Shall we? So very interestingly enough, the UK breakdown was 5 virtual world decks. Now, this is pretty much on par with the luxury gaming series for the results that we saw. I am very, very shocked, though, to see that of the rogue decks, there was a Mystic Mine in there, and that was Hello Man's list, actually. We'll cover that here in a second. We also had 1 Dinosaur and 1 Drytron, and this event was about 80 players. So what can we pull from this? Virtual world takeover for a majority of the rest of the world. When you compare the American event to the rest of the world, you're going to notice one big thing. Either America was smart enough to evolve past the concept of virtual world, or we just had so many randos in the event playing rogue that it just overpowered virtual world. And at this point in time, I'm going to go with the lighter from what I heard from the player base, that trap decks being in the room basically ruined the chance of virtual world players having any shot of doing well, which I think is a good thing. When we have more progress like this, it's good. We can also see here that Drytron continues to be the powerhouse. Also, Herman Hansen won this event with virtual world, which is a very, very nice push in the direction for virtual world being piloted by a very good player. Now, the list I want to talk about on here is actually going to be the incredible Mystic Mine stall deck. And like I said, this was piloted by Hello Man. So looking at this is some very basic stuff here. All right, you see that we have triple demise of the land, we have triple Mystic Mine. The big spicy thing that we have is the trap card, the Pinpoint Dash. Each player reveals 1 face down card from their extra deck. If they have the same type, Fusion, Synchro, Exceed, or Link monsters, send your opponent's card to the graveyard, and if you special summon your card, then if the cards have the same original type and attribute, your opponent loses life points equal to the revealed card's attack. Otherwise, send your card to the graveyard, and if you do, your opponent special summons their card. Hey, so you can give your opponent a monster underneath Mystic Mine, which basically will ensure that your Mystic Mine will stay on. Well, isn't that cute? The rest of this actually is being powered through Waking the Dragon. Waking the Dragon actually being a powerhouse for this deck. If your opponent actually tries to clear your back row, you just get rewarded with like a Last Warrior, a Mega Clops, or even the Ultimate Falcon. So your opponent's going to have a frustrating time trying to out your board. Outside of that, this Mystic Mine strategy is very basic. I do see that the Gamma and the Driver in there making a little bit of a difference, actually. Being able to make an Omega while you're underneath or trying to navigate a Mystic Mine will put you in a little bit better of a position. So I do like this. This was pretty cool stuff. Outside of that, I mean, it's Mystic Mine. Everybody likes when they get the chance to see a Mystic Burn strategy actually work, and I think that this was one of those times where we're kind of happy to see this, because all of his virtual world has been pretty boring, actually. Now, we're going to jump on over here to the the Belgium breakdown, New Zealand breakdown? New Zealand. 57 players walked into this event, and their top cut is literally one-ofs. We had 1 Drytron, 1 Paleozoic, 1 Subterror, 1 Eldlich, 1 PK Fire, 1 Virtual World, 1 Dinosaur, and 1 Salamangreat, actually. And the Card Guild got all this information out. Like, I'm actually extremely happy that we have this. But looking at this breakdown, though, straight one-ofs across the table, all right? And once again, that Drytron domination continuing. Drytron ran it through this breakdown here. It said, "Hi, I'm the one of in the room. Nice to see you guys." Even though, keep in mind, this was release weekend for... Actually, no, it wouldn't have been. Europe would have had this for 2 weeks. Never mind. So this set has been circulating for a little while now. Interesting. So that's your top 8. Now, the decks here are kind of interesting. Drytron list actually looks very basic for what I see here, except we do have the inclusion of the Lancias in the main deck. This is going to curve out your matchup against dinosaurs to give you that edge. I've kind of noticed that if you're thinking you're going to run into a more dinosaur-filled metagame, a lot of players are just opting to put the Lancias in the main deck, and they're like, all right, situation solved, we're able to round this out and do it. I see that we also have the one big Drytron in the main deck, and we're also doing the Herald of Ultimateness in this deck. The Herald is a little bit more optional. I think a lot of players can go either way on wanting to play Ultimateness in the deck, or really any other variant that they choose. It's up in the air with what you think you want to do. But outside of this, this deck looks pretty spot on for what I'd want to see here. Also, one guy commented on this deck and said, "Why are you playing no field spells with terraforming?" I'm like, but the Fafnir Searcher is a field spell. Imagine not understanding Yu-Gi-Oh! Next up, we had second place. We had some Paleo Frogs. I also see here that we have the Fury of the Ryukushin in the deck. This is the thing that can search the Torrential Tribute, which is actually really cool. Main deck monster lineup is very straightforward. I do like the one little barrier statue in the main deck with what your 23 traps that you're able to protect this. I also see that we are playing the one scapegoat here to allow us to capitalize on link plays and punish the opponent by outing a toad or something. It gives us plays for the second turn of the game, our second turn of the game. That gives us the ability to come back. And I also see Triple Reckless here. Been a little while since I've seen that. This deck takes all the old aspects of Paleozoic, wraps it around, and goes, all right, we're going to do this. Outside of that, this looks quite standard for old Paleozoic. I do like card demise for draw power in here. This deck looks very good. Congratulations to Rob Jensen for this. This is very nice. We also had, this was interesting. So Margine here played this Subterror deck pretty much like the Paleo deck that we just saw, but with 7 monsters. We're just doing the triple Guru, the one Nemesis, and the triple Fiendus. That is our monster lineup. That means that the rest of our deck is going to rely on the trap cards to round out the rest of our matchup. And if we don't see those trap cards, we're going to be in a very bad position. This is so much different than the other Subterror decks that I've seen that I'm almost surprised that this actually functioned and worked for him. But alas, this did find success, and this is very innovative. So if you're a Subterror player and you're messing around with all the other crazy stuffs, even down to the kitchen sink variant, this is really, really nice. All right, next up, we have fourth place here, and this was Yuri Landsman's list. So I see here we're around 41 cards. I see that we've got triple DD Crow and triple Skullmeister in this deck. All right, so we're just hand trapping out. I see we also have the skill drain in here. We're doing everything that standard Eldlich wants to do. And once again, we also find that Torrential Tribute. Torrential Tribute has been a power card in the TCG as of late. This is frickin' nuts. Even for a control variant like this looks very good. I also see that we're playing the one White Destiny. I haven't seen that in a little while, but standard control Lich. I also see here that we're playing the one Lilith, or the 2 Lilith, excuse me, getting us the ability to access any of our traps. So if you have any issues with how the deck is being built, this is a very different spin on things. I do like what he's doing here for the more controlling aspect. Interesting. All right. I also see here that Joshua Osters did well with PK Fire. Now, we also had PK Fire at the the North American version. He got 17th place. I do see some similarities here. I did not see the Shade Brigadane in the other version. I feel like Shade's a little bit off of the wall. Depends on if you want to approach it or not. Outside of that, this looks pretty straightforward, actually. The Evil Swarm Nightmare in the side deck is kind of interesting. I haven't seen them doing that. Oh, we're also not doing the whole Arc Rebellion, Dark Rebellion thing either through the rank up. That's a big difference here. I feel like this is just more of the toolbox variant. You set up the Rusty with the negates, and that's pretty much your board. All right. So outside of that, that is everything that I have for this video. These decks are very interesting. The European results, just looking at the American results versus the rest of the world, like either we're just so far advanced or I don't even know. Like, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me you guys think one event really shifting things here. It's quite interesting. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Peace out. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.